1964, this group right here. But I'm a slow learner because it took 25 years and 12 DWIs to get sober. I'm sober tonight, that's the main thing. And like I say, this is where I went to my first meeting right here. I remember just like tonight. And I remember the first drink alcohol I took was in 1954. I remember that just like tonight. I knew where I was at. I remember what I drank, and I remember who I was with. But my home, I was born and raised down between Broadway and Lilith Mammoth. That's where I was born and raised at. But I moved to Reedsville in 1989. My sobriety date is January the 20th, 1989. It's not my first sobriety date, but if I stay in this program, keep working this program, and people like you in here, I hope it'll be my last sobriety date, but it's not my first. But I was born on a farm. There were 14 in my family. I had 10 brothers and 3 sisters. But I got 2 brothers and 2 sisters living. I'm the oldest one now. But there were 14 of us to start with. And I finished high school. I went up to Winston-Salem, went to barber school. I barbered about 35 years. I used to barber down in Lillington and 2 or 3 places up here in Sanford, and I barbered down at Fort Bragg one time. I had the NCO club. But I barbered 35 years. And I'm going to tell you some of the things that happened to me in the past, and just about everything I'm going to tell you, there was alcohol involved in it. I'm not proud of it, but I've got to tell it like, I'm going to tell it like it was. And, but I moved to Reedsville. My sobriety date is January the 20th, 89. That's when I moved to the men's halfway house in Reedsville. That's what carried me to town. I went through Rimsco up there, went through the program. And I'm not bragging, but I got out of Rimsco. I was on the board there for about 15 years. I was chairman of the board for about 6 years. And I used to be on the mental health board in Reedsville. I used to be on the FEMA board, that money they get from Washington every year. We'd meet twice a year, decide who got how much, where it went, and all that. I was on that board for about 15 years. But you know, there'd been a time in my life that I couldn't have been on none of them boards. And that's what this program has done for me. I've got a life today that I didn't dream. I couldn't dream that I'd ever have the life I've got today. And since '94, I've drove in 49 states. I've been to Canada, I've been to Mexico, and I drove 3 trips to Alaska and back. That's a trip everybody ought to go. But there's been a time that I had no license. I was told I'd never get more license in North Carolina. But 1994, I've been in the program about 5 years. And it's still hard to believe today. You tell a lot of lawyers this today, they won't believe it. But in '94, I've been without a license about 5 years. And I got my first hearing to see if I get my license back. It is still hard to believe. The first hearing I went to, I got my license back with 12 DWIs. And they put a breathalyzer on my vehicle for 3 years. And after 18 months, I had another hearing, and they took the breathalyzer off. So I've got license today, just like I've never had a ticket in my life with 12 DO guys. See, God was doing for me what I couldn't do for myself. And, but you tell a lot of people that today they won't believe what you're telling them. But, I used to go to AA for every reason but the right reason. I used to go to try to keep a job, try to get my family back. None of that worked. But today, I love the program Alcoholics Anonymous today. I go because I want to go today. I don't go because that I need to go. And somebody's trying to get me to go to get my license back or get my family back. But I married this woman in Brisbane. We were together 25 years. She was retired school teacher. And she retired, and she passed away November the 12th, 2015. But you know, because of you people in this program, I hadn't had to take a drink because of that. And I've had some health problems in the last couple of years. My health's pretty good today. I'm doing pretty good today. But all these things that I've been through, I hadn't found it necessary to take a drink of alcohol today. That's it. That's one day at a time. I don't know what tomorrow will be, because tomorrow hasn't got here yet. But my new day starts when I wake up in the morning. That starts my new day. I know I'm sober tonight, and I was sober yesterday, but I'll have to worry about tomorrow when it gets in the morning. But because of the program I'm working and people like you in here, I hadn't had to take a drink today. And for that, I am grateful. But one time I had 3 brothers living at the home place. And I was in and out, stayed with them in and out. And one Saturday morning, I got up, started walking about 6-7 miles, started walking, going up Broadway. I used to run a bar shop around Broadway, but I don't know what kind of business I had up there, but I was going up there that morning, and I had a pint of liquor in my pocket. And the state trooper lived there, he lived there next, we grew up together, and he lived there with his mother, and he stopped, went over where I was going. I said, I'm going up to Broadway. He said, well, come on, I'll take you up there. I'm going to do you just messing around. So he carried me to Broadway and dropped me out. And that night, this is in December 11th, 1980. That night I was coming back home on 0421, and I was about 5 miles from my brother's. And moon shining bright. I had to go to the bathroom, so I hopped across the ditch. When I come back, when I jumped across the ditch, I jumped on the clod of dirt. And I turned my ankle over, and I broke my ankle in 3 places. It was on December 11th. I won't never forget it. And I lay down on the shoulder of that road for 6 hours. My ankle broke. Before anybody, I seen the car coming. I've been there about 2 hours. I seen this car coming, and he got top of the hill and it turned in to the house. I lay back down. I got pretty close to the road where somebody would see me if they come by. I lay back down, and about 4 hours later, I seen a car coming. And these 2 black boys was helping my brother farm, and they were just coming in that Saturday morning. And they went by me. And they turned around and come back, went by me, and they turned around and come back and stopped. And they got me up and carried me to the hospital center. And I broke my ankle in 3 places. And I had on 3/4 shoes. I left the shoe on. The doctor told me it's good I left it on. But my ankle is swelled so bad they had to cut my shoe to get it off. But I won't never forget it. I was there 6 hours on the shoulder of the road on December 11th. And, but I got so cold, they had warm blankets on to get my temperature back up normal. That's how close I come to freezing. That doctor said if I'd had another drink in it, I'd have probably passed out. I'd have froze. But I didn't tell them if I hadn't had none in, I wouldn't have been a broke ankle. But like I've always heard, you can't scare a drunk soul. As close as I come to death, I didn't have no insurance, no job, no money. And they said they would send me to Pinehurst or Chapel Hill that they had to take. So I went to Chapel Hill. They done surgery, and they put screws. I got 7 screws. They still at my ankle right now. After I had surgery, my ankle has never hurt me. I've never had the first minute's pain. The weather change, anything. And they told me there that they'd wait about a year and a half. They'd take them out. I was in the 40s then. They said, elderly person, they just leave them in there. And I thought to myself, I'm not no elderly person, but long as they don't bother me, they're going to stay where they're at. That was in 1980. They're still in my ankle right now. It don't hurt me. The weather changed. I don't have a minute's pain. And I went to the orthopedic doctor in Ridgeland. I was telling him about it. He wanted to see my ankle. I took the shoe and sock off. He looked at it. He called it twist and pull on it. Then a bit. He told me what a lucky person I was to have them screws in there and not have no pain or nothing since I had that surgery. So they've been in there since 1980, and I hope they're going to stay in there the rest of my time. Like I say, right here is where I come to my first meeting. I knew a lot of people in here, strong men. I'd had 10 DDO guys, and I was told I'd never get more license in North Carolina. So I had to have me a moped. Never sat down on one of my life. I bought a brand new one down in '87. I won't never forget it, just like today. I bought a brand new moped. About drunk, had to wait for them in service, and I got 2.5 miles down the road and I wrecked. Got a DWI. I know they have a helmet on. They carried me over to the emergency room and I did knock me out. I come to, I was laid up on the stretcher and the trooper already had him to draw blood. He was over beside the stretcher. He didn't have him to draw blood, so they picked gravel and dirt and everything out of my head and patched it up, and he took me over and locked me up. And 3 weeks later, one Sunday, I was riding around, and I got my second DDO down on the moped. But they had to order my helmet for me. And they called me one Friday and said my helmet come in, so I got about half drunk when I was ready to get my helmet. I won't never forget it. I was down in the country riding around that night on this dirt road. And I hit some sand or something and it threw me head first in the ditch somewhere. And then when that moped finally lay over, it was ready to come in with me, and I was looking at it up. And I should have kept my helmet because it threw me on a rock in there. And that helmet had a dent just about that big right between my eyes where it threw me on that rock. And I got my helmet that evening. And if I hadn't had the helmet on, I wouldn't be standing here tonight. That's another thing that God was doing for me, what I couldn't do for myself. But that was a close call, and but there's several things I could tell you. I could stay here at 12 o'clock and not talk about it. But today, I told somebody, it don't matter how long I've been sober. I'm just sober today. We're not promised tomorrow. We're not promised the rest of the day. But I know I'm sober today. And however long that I've been sober, I'm just an arm's length away from that next drink. I mean, I think about this all the time. When I see somebody out there that's messed up, walking, staying on the road, the first thing I think about, they taking my place. Because that could very easily be me out there walking instead of them. I think about that a whole lot. But I don't dodge nobody. If I see somebody messed up, I'll talk to them, stop. And if I can help, if I ain't doing anything for them, that's what I think this program about, is helping each other. And, but, like I say, I used to go to meetings. I know I was married the first time living down Broadway. I run the barbershop down there. And one Saturday night, the city police, I left the pantry. The city police locked me up at DWI. After that night, and then he'd come in the barbershop on Monday morning, and I cut his hair. We were close together. Yeah. But I will never forget, I remember just like today, he came in on Monday morning, and I cut his hair for him. He was on the barbershop, and I was on the bar, but he had to come south and get money. But later on, he got fired down there. He had to come back to town for some tickets that he had to go to court. And he wound up helping me get an attorney in Sanford. And he done me a big favor, helping me with that ticket I had. But then I went to Fort Bragg. I worked down in Fort Bragg for a while. But I'm just grateful today for the program Alcoholics Anonymous. I know one night I was living in Broadway with my first wife. I was working at Cody, that cosmetic place down here. I worked there 4.5 years. I come in one night and he saw me. I told my wife, I said, I'm gonna go to AA meeting tonight. And the doctor down there, he'd been trying to help me every way he could. So she didn't say a word. I come up in the meetings at 8 o'clock, and I got up in about 4:45. And then I parked, we had some edge of the parking lot. Nobody helped me. I said, I'm gonna lay down and get me a nap. For the meeting, I woke up about 11 o'clock, and I'm still by myself. I went home, and the first thing the wife wanted to know, did you go to the meeting tonight? I said, yeah, which I did come to the meeting, but I didn't tell her I didn't come in. So when I woke up at 11 o'clock, I was still here by myself. The next morning, I run the barbershop down the Broadway, the post office right across the street. Dr. Daly, he'd come to the hospital every morning, and he'd go make his round, and then he'd go to the office, and then he'd come to the hospital every night. He pulled up, I was coming out of the post office, he pulled up out there. He asked me, he said, did you go to the meeting last night? I said, I sure did. He grabbed me and hugged me all over as I walked down there. He was surprised me, but I didn't tell him I didn't come in. I mean, I told the truth, I did come to the meeting, but when I woke up at 11 o'clock, I was still laying by myself. And I remember Bill Makepeace, I remember several people that used to be in this group that's passed on. But like I say, I go to meetings today because I love the program Alcoholics Anonymous. And I go because I want to go, not because people are trying to get me to go to meetings. But and I was in Reedsville. I went through Frenchco halfway house. I married this woman in Reedsville. She'd been married one time before, didn't have any children, and she was a retired school teacher. And we had a chance to travel to go in 49 states. And we, like I say, we went that one trip to Canada, to Alaska and back. That's a trip everybody ought to go. And I seen the time that I've never dreamed about places I've got to go and things I've got to see since I've been sober. And it's all because of people like you in here and the program Alcoholics Anonymous. And I can stand here and say that I've been these places and seen these things that I didn't have no idea that I'd ever get to go, because at one time, the only time I got to ride was in the back of the sheriff's car or a trooper's car. I told somebody here in Sanford and Harney County, I used to ride in sheriff's cars so much people thought I worked sheriff's cars. And then in Harney County, trooper Clyde, I hadn't seen him in years, but over the years, he got me 5 times. And he got me 3 times on the same vehicle. The 3rd time, he told me I need to paint that car or sell it wood. He's still living. I think he lives in Raleigh. I'd love to meet him sometime to let him know that I'm living a sober life today, because he got me 5 times over the years. But because of this program tonight, I don't have to live it. I don't have to live that way tonight. I lived in the tent one time for a year and a half. I was just as happy in that tent if I'd have been in Ivor Johnson. But I'm glad I made that choice to live in that tent, because it let me know that I don't have to live that way today unless I choose to. I'm glad I chose that tent. I went through that year and a half in that tent to let me know that I don't have to live like that today. I've got a choice today. I didn't have a choice back then. I drank to live, and I lived to drink. I mean, that's just the way it was. But I think that was the best move I ever made when I went to men's house in Reesville and moved to Rockingham County, and then me and my wife got married, and I've been sober ever since, just one day at a time. And I just, a lot of days I get up, I just think about how grateful I am today to be able to get up, get dressed, and get out. I'm still driving. But I'm just grateful. I told somebody I'm having trouble with my knees now, and about wore out. But I can look at it another way. At least I've got knees to hurt. I could be short-legged, see. At least I've got knees to hurt. But I'm just grateful for the health I've got today, the shape I'm in, for what I put myself through. They've been a time, if I could get it, they've been a time that I would drink a half a gallon of liquor a day, if I could get it. But I drank a little bit of everything, beer, wine, I drank some of all of it. But I don't want to forget these things that's happened to me in the past, because it could very easily happen again. We all are miracles, but I feel like I'm a miracle. I'm just walking around a miracle, and I'm just grateful for the health I've got. I'm grateful for everything I have today, and it's all because of people like you in here and the program Alcoholics Anonymous. I know in 2010 there was 4 of us went to San Antonio to the International Convention. You were there, and I believe it said that we were gone 10 days, and actually I drove 7 days. We had a hotel, had had a reservation 6 months ahead of time. But I actually drove 7 days, and I drove, I believe it was 2,350 miles. I drove every mile of it down there and back. Actually, I drove 7 days. And I believe it said there was 75,000 people there that weekend, in 96 different countries. I know they had them opening ceremonies at Alamo Dome. They'd call out a flag, they'd call out the country, they'd bring a flag out on the stage. I won't never forget it. They had 96 flags out there. And that Friday night meeting, when they closed the meeting on Lord's Prayer, they said there was 50,000 people that meeting that night that said the Lord's Prayer. And I know this couple in Santa, I've been knowing them for years. They flew down. And we've been back 3 or 4 days, and he called me to see if we had a safe trip back. And I told him, yeah. And he said on Sunday evening when they were leaving, he was talking to a captain on the police department. And he said that whole weekend with 75,000 people, they never made the first arrest on nobody in the AA.
Wow.
I told him that's good for AA right there. I told him if it had been active down there, that it had the National Guard. Someone like me would still be down there somewhere. But that's speaking good for AA, when they made the first arrest on nobody in AA that whole weekend. I met people from all over the world. You'd be standing there talking to somebody from China, Russia, Ireland, walk up and start talking just like we're talking right now. Never seen them before and probably will never see them again. But I met people from all over the world. And if it weren't for people like you and this program, I never had a chance to go there. I never had a chance to go to a lot of places I did get to go. But I'm talking too fast about my eyes. But I'm just glad that JR, you asked me to come and speak, because I've always enjoyed coming down here to this group, because I've been coming off and on since 64. But I'm gonna say one more thing. I'm not the person I would love to be today, but because of this program and people like you and him, I'm not the person I used to be. And for that, I am grateful, and I hope I've said something to help somebody tonight, because it has helped me. I mean, I don't speak very much, but when I do, it helps keep me sober, and I get to go out of town, go to places, and I'm just grateful. I'm glad to be here, and I hope that somebody has got something out of what I had to say tonight. Thank you.